Welcome to the Spirits, Angels, and Guides Oh My podcast.
Where the supernatural gets real, baby.
Hey, Tara.
Hello, Nan.
So, there are moments in psychic development where you start to realize that your intuition isn't just reading the present, it's reaching across time. Not in a dramatic movie like way, but in a subtle, layered impressions. And it's a feeling you've done something before, a skill that arrives faster than it should, or knowing about what's ahead before anything's actually happened. And what we're
Hmm.
going to, right? So, what we're going to talk about today is how to work with that safely, clearly, and in a way that actually supports your life now. Because timeline work isn't about escaping life, it's about understanding it more deeply.
I love that. And I love this topic, my Nanaboo, because it's one of those areas where, people either overcomplicate it, because that is like, we do that so well.
Yeah.
We are like the overcomplicated of every species out there. We overcomplicate it, or we're a little bit afraid of it, right?
Hmm.
So this to me is one of those topics that this idea that accessing past lives or future timelines is something only very advanced psychic mediums can do, or that it's like hella risky, right? Like
Hmm.
that's the other kind of thing that comes with it. But what we've both seen, and I love when we have our conversations, and we have so many, what that we've so what we've seen is what I'm trying to say is that people are already touching these timelines and they
Hmm.
just don't realize that's what they're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's ground this first because I want this to feel accessible for our listeners. Okay.
Yep.
When we're crossing time, we're not talking about leaving your body or disappearing into some altered state. We're talking, oh,
Woohoo!
I mean, maybe some people do, but no, I'm kidding. We're talking about expanding your awareness to access information that's already kind of outside linear time.
Okay.
So, whether it's from an energetic perspective, time isn't actually moving forward the way we experience it. It's more like layers or fields that we're tuning into.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, past lives, future lives, parallel lives, um,
All the lives.
all the lives, they're not gone or ahead, they're accessible through frequency.
Ooh, see, that is a little bit of a
Ah.
oh, It's so caught up in my ahs and my ohs. Woo! Okay, and here it is. This is such an important. We've had a really great morning, everyone. I just want to say that. Um, Here's the distinction, though, and when we were talking about this, I feel like being able to have that distinction to what you just said takes the pressure off needing to get somewhere with this, and we are like that again. Those beings that need to always be trying to get somewhere to achieve something because you're not traveling when we're talking about this stuff. You're attuning,
Hmm.
right? You're attuning.
Yeah.
And I think this is where people will get all tripped up and it's really not that serious. They expect it to look like a full movie scene, right? Like
Hmm.
think of like John Wick. Or
Yes.
don't. Or maybe you should. That's Keanu Reeves. Anyway, I digress. But often it comes in more subtle ways, right? This isn't like a big flash. It's like a tiny flash of
Hmm.
imagery,
Hmm.
a body sensation, even just knowing um, that, it's like knowing a feeling, okay,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
came from your current life experience. It's just a knowing. I like that.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
That settles easily in my mind.
Yes, exactly. And I want to emphasize this because this is where the safety part starts. You don't need to force access to this knowing. In fact, the more you try to push into timelines, the less clear that everything becomes. So timeline work is repetitive. It's just like our psychic work. We're exercising a muscle. It's about allowing what is already relevant to you to meet you where you are, really.
Yes. Yeah. Again, you're hitting the nail on all the points. The
So
head.
let's so let's talk about past lives first, because this is kind of where a lot of people naturally begin. I'm sure you find that as well. Like a lot of people come to you going, I'm having this spiritual opening. I need to know about my past lives, right?
Sure.
So one of the biggest misconceptions is that past lives are only about trauma or unresolved karma.
Mhm.
And while that can be a part of it, what I see far more often is our past lives show up as a skill memory. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to notice this is something that comes out easily to you, or sorry, like a skill that comes easily to you, but you can't explain why. So it might be a natural ability to read energy, or
Hmm.
it might be a deep comfort with animals. I have that.
Yes, you
Um,
do.
it's a pull towards certain cultures or landscapes or practices. So,
Absolutely.
right? So none of this is random. That's our nervous system recognizing something it already knows.
And I've seen this with students where they'll say, I don't know why,
Hmm.
but this just feels familiar.
Yeah.
Right? And instead of trusting that, they kind of question it. Now, I mean, I think we've all done that, honestly. But
Yeah.
if you lean into it, it actually accelerates development, right? So
Yeah.
if these students that are questioning, they're like, I always say, just can you just kind of move into that a little bit? Because
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're trusting a process. And then you're also not learning from scratch, right? They're
Hmm.
remembering. They're
Yes.
remembering. And that
Yeah.
that is the biggest thing of all.
Yes. And this is where I really want to be clear in how I teach this is you don't need to validate a past life by proving it existed historically. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What matters is does this information support your growth now? Because if it's bringing clarity, confidence, or understanding, then it's useful. If it creates confusion or pulls you away from your present life, then it's a time to step back.
Yeah. That again is all relevant to the moment, right?
Exactly. So now I want to touch on future timelines because I know there's people out there going, okay, yeah, but what about the future? So
We need to know the future.
we do need to know the future. This is where things can get a little misunderstood. So the future is not fixed.
Thank
Uh,
God you said that. We are not fortune tellers, people.
no, no. What you're accessing when you tune into a future timeline is a probability, a pathway, a probable pathway, we'll say, a version of your life based on your current energy, your current choices and direction.
So it's not prediction, guys, because
Mhm.
prediction is exactly that. That's prediction. It's
Right.
perspective.
Yes.
And I think that itself is so important as a shift because people often want certainty. Questions that come, and we don't, you and I don't do these kinds of readings typically, but you know, is he the love of my life? Am I going to get pregnant? Are we buying the house? They want to know, is this going to happen?
Hmm.
But you know what we're really receiving is this is where your path leads if you continue in this direction. And this brings us to the, you can come to Nan and I for a reading, and we could very well see you going down this path, and you make the free will choice to go this way.
Exactly. And that's why this work is so empowering when it's done properly. And everyone has access to doing this work,
Hmm.
right? Because you can feel into a future timeline and ask, does this feel aligned with me? Does this feel grounded? Does this feel like something I actually want? Because remember, Tara just said free will, right? Your body is going to respond, not your mind, but your body. So I want to talk a little bit about the discernment in timeline
Mm,
work. Okay.
yeah.
Because this is the most important part of the entire conversation, in my opinion.
Agreed. 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 Agreed.
Okay, so timeline work requires discernment, not because everything you perceive is something you need to engage with. Here's how I teach safety in this work. I tell people stay anchored in your present body. That's huge, right? You even hear people when they do oh my gosh, I'm having a moment like
France
nighttime
channeling.
trance channeling or nighttime astral traveling is
Oh,
the word
astral
I'm looking,
traveling. Okay.
right? So you're always wanting to create that anchor in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And you only want to work with what's naturally arising, okay? And you never want to override your nervous system. So if something is feeling overwhelming or confusing or destabilizing, don't follow that. That's not the energy you really want to work with.
Don't follow that. Don't do it, people.
Just
Don't do
don't.
it. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. She's not wrong. Just don't do it. Immediately no. And I think that's where people again go too far too fast even.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get excited by this work, Nan. Let's just be for
Mhm.
real. You know, the
Oh, yeah.
idea of doing any kind of metaphysical work truthfully, it can
Mhm.
be very exciting. Oh, I can tap in. Oh, I can access this. Oh, I can do that. So people will go too far too fast. They won't have the tools, right?
Yeah.
They won't have the tools. And they'll try to access multiple timelines at once because they have no idea what they're freaking doing. They'll go looking for answers in ways that disconnect them from their body. And if your body is the conduit and your anchor, and it is,
Mhm.
it's going to be what keeps the information integrated,
100%.
right?
Absolutely. And I'll say this very clearly. If you are not grounded in your present life, in your present timeline, timeline work will not support you because again, we are soul here having a human experience. It's going to fragment the focus instead of strengthen it.
Well,
Okay.
I'm glad you said that very clearly, Nan.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So what is going to support this? Like, why would people really want to do timeline work? So when timeline work is done well, it becomes incredibly practical. It can help
Truth.
us, right?
Truth.
Yeah, so it helps us make clearer decisions. It helps us trust our instincts. It helps us understand patterns. It helps us move forward with more confidence. So
Mhm.
it's really not, and I really want to be clear on this too, it's not about escaping your life. It's about using this as a GPS to navigate it more effectively.
You know what? I've noticed that when people start working with timelines in a grounded way, so the way you're talking to it, the way you are presenting this to our audience, our listeners, our people watching, when they do this in a grounded way, they actually and hear me out, guys, you become more present.
Hmm.
Right? Because you're not questioning yourself as much. And this is
Yeah.
where we talk about again, you're going to hear repetitive things from Nan and I, especially if you've been listening for over 100 episodes. But we talk about trusting the process. If you can trust the work with spirit and the work with timelines and universal energy and blah, 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 then you are doing the work right there. You're going to start recognizing your own patterns. Baby, that's a flex. You're
Huge.
going to start seeing that your own tendencies, another flex. Those are the things you want to be doing. That's how you move forward. And you're going to be able to adjust in real time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the goal, Tara. So not more information, but better integration. Okay.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen. So I want to do a little exercise. And I'm going to call this, I guess, a timeline triangulation. We're going to do a past skill. That's a good one, right?
That's a good
Uh,
one.
so we're going to do a past skill, a present choice, and a future outcome.
Woohoo!
And yeah, and so this exercise is going to teach our listeners to identify a past life or a soul skill,
Ooh.
and then how they can apply it to real present decisions, and then really test it against a future timeline outcome. How does that sound? I think it sounds good.
You know, that sounds absolutely fantastic, Nan. I am here for this. Let's go, Boo. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. So we are going to take it a step further because awareness is one thing, but actually using this in your life is where the shift is going to happen. So instead of just sensing into the future, we're going to connect 3 points.
Okay.
And I just listed those. So we're going to do a past skill into a present situation and the future outcome. And so the reason this is going to work is because it's going to keep you anchored. You're not going to be drifting all around with your focus everywhere, and you're going to be building a line of understanding.
Okay. I'm grounded for this.
Okay.
No squirrels for me today.
Okay.
So I love this because it gives people something tangible to work with. Okay,
Mhm.
because I'm finding more and more with the work I do with people, they want tangible. They need it. It's like they cannot do this without something tangible. And it's not just a what do you feel? There's structure to this. Because I'm a what do you feel kind of gal, right? My
Mhm.
my whole love cycle is to give, but my whole love cycle is like a feel. I don't know if that's a good love cycle or not, but it's there. So I like the whole like, what do you feel? What do you feel? And sometimes people can't jump into that. They're like, I don't know what I feel. God damn it, stop asking me. Right? So
Exactly.
this gives
So
structure to it.
exactly. So let's walk through this together. So first, what we're going to do is I want you, our listener, to bring to mind something real in your life right now, not something abstract, something you're actively navigating. Okay. So, a decision, a pattern, a situation where you feel maybe stuck, or you're repeating something, or you're unsure of what the next step is. And I just want you to name that internally.
Done.
Okay. Okay. Now, here's where we're going to shift it. Instead of asking, what happened in a past life? I want you to ask, where have I already learned how to handle something like this? I'm going to
Oh, for
repeat that.
fluff's sake.
Where have I already learned how to handle something like this? And then I want you to let whatever comes forward just come forward. And so this might show up as a version of you that feels more confident, a setting or an environment, a role that you were in, or even just a simply a feeling. So for you, Tara, lean into the feeling. If you're doing this, but you're also helping me run the exercise. So
Yeah,
jump
I'm in it, baby. I'm not helping you do shit. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm here.
Okay. So even a simple a feeling of capability. You don't need a full story. You're looking for the essence of that skill.
Okay, I'm there. And again, people, this is where you might doubt it because it can feel too simplistic. We want simple. You want simple, baby. So step in. I'm there.
Yes.
I'm good. Let's go, baby.
Okay. And that's the point. If it feels grounded, clear, and neutral, you're in the right place. Okay. If it feels dramatic or overwhelming, you've gone too far. Get back, rewind. Okay. Now, I want you, this is how we're going to bring the skill into the present, to take that skill or that version of you and bring it to your current situation and ask yourself, if I feel approached in this situation from this level, sorry, if I approach this situation from this level of experience, what would change? Okay. So if I approach the situation from this level of experience, what would change? And I want you to notice, would you respond differently? Would you move faster or slower? Would you set a boundary? Would you trust yourself more? And let's be practical.
What if you would do all those things? Am I supposed to pick one?
No, if you get all of them, you get all of them.
Okay. This is where it starts to feel real, people. So I'm having a moment with the rest of you because you can actually see how it applies. And I asked a very valid question. Like she put it out there. Like if you're doing this work on your own, you're not going to have these step-by-step moments. But I all of those things resonated. I
Okay,
looked at
good.
it from the place of like where what the skill set I have, etc., and I followed through, like Nan said, and this is where it starts to feel real because I can see how this applies if I move into these steps. So this is
Nice.
cool. I got goosebumps, goosebumps that I can't show you because, well, sleeves.
I love it. Goosebumps are truth bumps, in my opinion. Um,
Aw,
yeah, so that so that's exactly it. So this is an integration. So those goosebumps are you integrating. It's not information, it's application. Okay. So now we're going to test this on a future timeline. So we're going to take it one step further. Okay. So from this adjusted version of you, ask, if I move forward this way, where does this lead? So instead of looking for a scene, I want you to feel. Okay. I want you to feel for a stability or an instability, an expansion or a contraction, for clarity or confusion, because your body is going to tell you, because this is in you at a cellular level.
and what I love here is that we're not predicting. You're
Yeah,
testing alignment, and that's a
exactly.
whole different thing.
Exactly. So you're not asking what will happen. You're asking, what does this path feel like? And that's where your power is.
Boom. Right
Yeah.
there. Love it.
So, how are we going to check this? We're going to check this before we close this. I want to anchor one final piece. I want you to ask yourself, does this make me feel more grounded in my life or less? Because if it grounds you, it's useful. If it pulls you out of yourself, out of your power, it's you're not ready to work with this. That's your filter.
Yeah.
That's your human getting in the way. So, if there's one thing I want you all to take from this episode, it's this. You are not starting from scratch in your development. You are building on layers of experience, and some you're going to remember and some you don't. So it's your intuition that's going to be the bridge that connects all of it.
And you know what, guys? Don't rush this.
Mhm.
I know you get excited. I know you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next level. I feel like I'm having a frequency vibrational shift. Oh, holy Lord. And you want to step into it, but don't rush it. The more you trust what's already coming through, the more naturally this expands, period.
Exactly. Exactly. This work is not about accessing more timelines. It's about working with the ones that are already supporting you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So sorry. So did you have something else to add there?
I just wanted to say, feeling supported, not just by spirit or the loved ones around you, but within yourself, is
Yeah.
the key to success in spiritual and metaphysical work personally.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more. So I want to thank our listeners for being here with us. If this is something you want to go deeper into, and this is the kind of work that you want to expand on, come to the Spirit Lounge. Check out Tara's website, spiritessence by taradiana.com. Check out my website, Nancy Christine Brady. This is where we can help take these concepts and actually apply them in a deeper way that's structured and grounded and supportive.
And we'd love to hear from you guys. Go to our IG, make sure you're subscribing to us. What resonated, what you noticed, what you're curious about next.
Yeah. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the wonderfully weird and metaphysical.
If you loved what you heard, don't forget to follow us for more insights and behind the scenes fun.